Welcome viewers to Time to Go Vlogging Along. This is the second in a series of Time to Go Vlogging Alongs we're going to do. The ones after this will just be called Time to Go Vlogging Along. I'm going to get rid of the numbers. And in this video, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to try and fix my clippers. They broke this week and it's something that I have to fix. So we're going to take this apart and see if we can fix it. So during the week, we've had a busy week this week. For some reason, the channel viewing numbers has gone right up for some reason. It seems to have peaked and got quite a few subscribers. We're about 99 now. So we need one more subscriber to get to 100. Videos we've been posting this week are basically people driving incorrectly on the roads. I've had two instances of people driving through red lights, and you've probably seen the videos online. Don't just assume that if the traffic lights are green that you can go. Always check from your right or left to make sure the route is clear before you leave the junction. And the final video, which I haven't posted yet, is going to be relating to more bad drivers on icy roads. -5 degrees and taking big risks. I see this every day. Just be careful out there, really. So I want to get into repairing these clippers. If I turn these on now, they don't work. But if I plug the lead in, they do. So there's something going wrong in there, and we're going to find out what it is. So join me as I take these apart. So here we have a cup of coffee, and that's most important. A couple of little tools here. One is just a little pry bar here. You're taking plastic covers off things, and this one is just like a plastic tapered wedge, which you can put into bits of plastic to leave them apart. We might need them, we might not. We'll have a look. So here's the clippers. I'm going to take them apart. Always have a little tray handy to put all your bits in. On these clippers, you can't see anywhere where you can open the clippers up to get inside. It looks like it's all sealed. What they tend to do is put all the screws under either labels or tiny little hidden away, or they'll make these sort of these covers so they clip on and off. So I found on here there's a little don't know if you can see it there. There's like a plug that's been put in a hole. We're going to take that plug out, and I think there's take that plug out of there. I've lost it. Stick that in there. Screwdriver. I'm going to try and take this off. Take one screw out and see what happens. Now it's been a cold week this week. Freezing cold, -5 on the Honda NT. Let's hope the weather gets warmer pretty soon, because and later as well. It's dark every morning. So hopefully that screw come out of there. No, put that in there. Now this we want to try and lift off. So I'm first of all going to try this little tool here. Put it in between here, try and just apart, just to get inside. Once I get inside, see what's inside these clippers. They can be a bit tight, and what you'll be careful of is when you take them apart, lots of things might fall out. Once you get it apart, that is. So like it's coming out from the top. So this is what you have inside the pair of clippers. Now, for some reason, when I turn this on, it isn't moving. But when the battery, when I plug the power in, it works. It showed you before. And that indicates to me that there's something not quite right. Something's sticking somewhere. So it's charging, it looks like it's charged the battery, the light's coming on. And when it's plugged in, it works. It's not plugged in, it doesn't work. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to check the batteries, see if there's any power in the batteries. I'm going to do that by taking the batteries out. Be careful when you're taking batteries out, you don't short them out or anything like that, but these have probably got not much power in them. But they have been charged, so they should be okay. So the NT1100, while I'm checking the battery, it's doing a really good job. I'm really pleased with it. I've not found any issues with the bike at all. All pretty good. Heater grips work perfectly. I'm going to tighten the chain. It's done about 1,000 miles now, so I'm going to tighten the chain this week. So we have a multimeter here. Now these batteries should read about 1.2 volts. 2.4 it could read. And we've got on there 2.5. So the batteries are up to the correct voltage, which is good, I suppose. But it's not good that when I turn this on, let's see what happens to the batteries. If I hold that multimeter there, and you can see we have 2.15 volts. If I turn this on, the battery voltage drops. Now that means there's some sort of load killing the battery off. Now my suspicion is, if that's what's happening, the batteries are okay and there's something jamming it. So what we're going to do is to try and free this off here. So let's take this off here, the motor. Take this motor out of here. There's 2 screws holding it on. And if I've got the right screwdriver, take this motor out, and then what we'll try and do is run the motor without any load on it. We can get that screw out of there. Time for a quick sip of my coffee. Let's try this one. They don't use the best quality screws in these things. I suspect it's either the motor's damaged, or it's all this rubbish in here that's blocked, that's jammed the mechanism somehow. It's most annoying because it should work on a battery, and when you want to use the clippers, you can't walk around with them. You've got to go near a socket. Now I've been using the on the NT1100 motorbike, I've been using the Android Auto, and I've been plugging it in using a long USB cable. And I've been plugging the long USB cable into the motorbike, and I've been putting the phone in my pocket on my jacket with the cable coming out of me top of my jacket and into the bike. So I don't need any phone holder for the phone. It's in your pocket like it normally would be. So we're going to take this off here. This is just a clip holding the motor in. I'm going to disconnect that. So now we'll check that the motor is free running to make sure it's there's no issues there. If it turns, does it turn with no load on it? That's the thing. So that's turning now. It's turning every time. So that indicates to me that let's just check the battery voltage on that. When it's running, it shouldn't be dropping off too much. So I'm now going to turn the battery, turn this on here. You see it's running, but we've got a voltage of 1.7, so that just means the battery's slightly low. So I think our problem is in this part here. The motor's good. I think there's just too much load for the motors. Now I do repair things. If I have anything that's broken on my bike, on my car, or anything really, I'd rather repair it than buy a new one if I can. Now if this works, then save myself a bit of money. If it doesn't work, then I've wasted my time. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, hey? Right, I've cleaned that off and it's moving. That's moving quite freely. It's a little stiff, but I'm going to put a drop of lubrication on it, or a lot of lubrication, shall we say. Let's get that a bit of this. Let's see if that does anything. So I'm going to put the motor back in here. Now it is moving now, which is good. It wasn't moving before. I'm going to let that run for a minute. Sounds like it's getting a little bit faster as well. The batteries aren't charging either, so I think that's going to be a good one. Let's box this back up again. And that's without charging the batteries. That's coming up nicely. Let's give it a click on and off. Saved me a little bit of money, which I can spend on my motorbike. Now I can't turn it off. So all we've done really is took all the hair out, give it lubrication. It's now working. So I'm going to charge the battery up while we're waiting here. I'm going to put that all back together and see if it works, and then we'll get back to the normal channel proceedings. I just thought I'd fix this on the live stream. A bit more different thing to do. Even though it's working, there's still loads of hair coming out of there. Might have to do this a second time, but let's see how it goes. Let's put the top back on. Now you can see all the hair in there. It's pretty manky. I'm going to brush that out of there. They do put like a sponge, bit of sponge here, which is supposed to stop the hair going in, but it doesn't seem to work. And make sure there's no cables in the way, because if you don't put the cables in the right place, it'll nip on the cables. Oh, we've missed out one thing. You've got to put the motor clamp back on. That's why I have a little tub like this. If there's anything missing, or if there's anything left in that tray when you're finished, you've missed something out. No, you don't want to do that. So we're nearly there. I didn't think this would take very long, but I just thought I'd do it for something to do while I've got 10 minutes. There we have the motor bolted back in there. I'm going to disconnect that for a moment, see if it runs without the lead down. So it's running without the lead. Just wants to charge up, I think, now. So we had a pair of trimmers which weren't working. We now have trimmers which is working. So don't throw your gear out, fix it. Let's get back into what we normally do. Let's talk about motorbikes, I guess. The NT1100 doing really well. As I say, I'm going to put the I'm going to tighten the chain up this weekend, because the bike's done about 1,000 miles already, and it's time it needs to get the chain tension checked to make sure it's all good. I think it's a little bit slack at the moment, so I'm going to do a little video on how to adjust that. and I'm going to follow the instructions in the manual which I have here, just to make sure I do it correctly, because every motorcycle manufacturer has their own way of adjusting things and how much tension they want on the chains and this, that and the other, the amount of movement. So we're going to do that next week, well, this weekend before next week. We're also going to get the cameras fitted to it. I have a front and rear camera which I used to have on the NC 750X, which I took off when I sold it, and I'm going to put them on the NT. And once I've done that, I'll have two cameras, one on the back, one on the front, which will always be recording every time I ride the bike automatically. And that's the unit's called a V-Sisto camera system. I can probably show you the V-Sisto. There's so many versions out there, they're all very similar. It could be that one. Is it that one there? It's one like that, very, very similar. And they're the same cameras, I think. So it's something like that. And what I'm going to be doing is putting that back on my motorbike after I've printed some parts to house these cameras, because they only have a small glass lens on the front. And if you've got it on the front of a motorbike doing 70 miles an hour down the road and all the muck's flicking up on it, they're soon going to get damaged. So I'll show you how I got around that when I do that. But they're well, good value for money. 129 quid that one for front and rear. And it's always on all time. It's like video recording. Every time you start the bike and stop the bike, it's there. So we'll show you what that's like, what the videos are like from it. And I'm going to be doing that probably this weekend or next weekend, depending on how I get time to do it. So that's one of my little projects I'm going to be doing shortly. Next week, I'm going to go through what kit I have on my motorbike. Now I have some kit on my bike which I always take with me. Things like a pump, if you need it for an electric pump, in case you need an emergency. Tyre repair kits, and I don't know what people's thoughts are on tyre repair kits, but I've got a kit that is basically a rubber bung that you plug in the hole. And if you have a puncture and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, you can put one of these plugs in the tyre and you chop it off the end. I'll explain how to do that in the next live stream. And I'll show you the kit that I have. And it also has some compressed cylinders. These are the like CO2 cylinders, which you screw onto a bit of a tool, screw it to your cap, and it automatically pumps your tyre up. It will pump your tyre up enough to get you to a garage, but you need to check it once you've done it. But it's handy to have. Things like a first aid kit. I don't know whether, if you have a motorbike, if you carry a first aid kit. I carry a first aid kit in my car and my motorbike, just in case it's ever needed at any time. It's a very handy thing to have. The NC 750, it had the front at the top, at the front of the bike. You could put all your kit in there. But on this bike, the NT, it hasn't got that. So you either have to put it in the panniers or the top box, or you have to put it under the seat. And there's not a lot of space under the seat to put much, especially not a toolkit and a pump. So I'll be going through that next week. Kent Motorcycles. Now they don't exist anymore. They've been taken over by Laguna Motorcycles in Maidstone. So these cups are quite rare, to be honest. They will be, because that place doesn't exist anymore. So thank you all very much for watching. If you're watching this video after the live stream's gone out, I hope you get some information from it, which would be helpful. You might have a pair of these that you might want to fix. Now I've forgotten one piece. This is the plug that goes in here. So now I'm okay to get my hair cut. Yes, I do cut my hair with these. There's a little bit left and that's good enough to cut it. Have a nice week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.